Uncle Bob here. So this video is going to be on how to change a drive belt on a Toro Time Cutter Mx5025. If you're interested, stay tuned. It's coming up next. Guys, so today we're going to be replacing the drive belt on a Toro Time Cutter Mx5025. We've got the new belt right here. It's a 130-6976. This is going to be a little bit of a bear to do, so I'm going to try to just show you. I'm going to try to do this without pulling this bumper off, but we got to get up under here. Let's see. We got to drop this PTO right here. It's a 5/8 bolt. Got an impact. If you can get the wire connector off the back side, it's on the back side. You got to pry up. There's a safety clip on the top side. Just pry that up a little bit, and the wire connector should come out. You don't have to drop this all the way down. You can just loosen it up and let it come down enough so you can access up in here to get the belt, because it'll squeeze back behind the locking bracket back here to get that drive belt on. Now this is the drive belt that's on there. I don't know if you can tell how worn that is, but it's worn. The bare part of it is there's two idler pulleys hidden back under here, and there's a spring that we got to get loose. Now, two things I've already noticed. I don't know if you can see that. There's where that spring comes out. Now, if I'm not mistaken, I believe I can get this loose. It's just going to be hard to get to. Anyway, we're going to go ahead and get the PTO dropped off, and we'll go from there. What I do is get this belt off the deck so it'll take the tension off the belt on the PTO around back. Now, if you don't have this tool right here, this little square that'll fit in there to turn this tensioner, you can do it by hand, but get you some gloves, and you see how I've got it pulled up here like this, and I'm gonna just spin it. But be very careful, you get your fingers caught in there, and it's not gonna be a good day for you. So just spin it around, boom, and that's it. Just leave it right there and be ready to go back on when you're done. So now we're to the back again. We've got this belt where we can get this loose. Now I've already loosened this up with my impact. You see that I didn't take it all the way out, because these can be a pain in the butt getting back up, especially one person. It's hard to hold it, get it lined up with the keyway. So if you don't have to take it all the way off, don't. This is that wire that hooks up your PTO right there. It goes on the top side up in there in the middle. And you see this little clip? I just took me a little small flathead screwdriver and pried that up, and I was able to pull it out. So now we've got enough clearance back here. Clearance. We should have enough clearance to get our drive belt up and in between this locker bracket right here without having to drop this PTO the rest of the way. Alright guys, so the next thing is to get the spring that goes from right there, and it comes through the frame. It goes in a little hole right here. So I was able to just take my screwdriver and pry up, get enough bite on it. It hasn't got a whole lot of tension, but it's got a pretty good bit. So that releases our swing arm, and now we can just we should be able to start taking this belt off. And on this particular model, I believe I'm gonna have to, let's see, I believe I'm gonna have to loosen up right here, because this goes all the way through to the top, on the top of the frame, to get that belt off of that pulley right there. And this one is not a problem because I can fill up behind it, but That one, I believe this has got to come out right here. That nut right there. Alright guys. No, it's crowded under here, but I'm trying. Alright guys, so I was right. You just gotta loosen this nut up, and then it'll drop this arm down enough where you can wiggle the belt out on the back side. I can't show you the belt that's going around this pulley where it is, but I was able to wiggle the belt out by just, and I wouldn't advise taking this all the way off if you don't have to, because it could be a bear, because it's such tight quarters under here, especially if you're working on the ground, to get this all back together. Just loosen stuff up. Alright. Guys, so I'm going to try to show you, let me get a screwdriver maybe, how you can see up in here. I don't know if you can even see. Alright, so I'm at the back of the tractor, so this is the left side hydro. The belt goes around there, and it snakes up, comes around. Comes around the drive pulley. Right there. And then back around this first idler pulley here. And then it's coming back and around the right side hydro, which you can't see. And then it just goes all the way the length down through here over this drive idler pulley back here. There's another pulley back in behind there, and then back around to there. So I'm gonna try to put a diagram up so you can kind of see. It's just kind of hard to show under here. I wish I had a big old lift I could put it up on. But anyway, let me get this button back up, and I'll show you how to put the PTO back on and all that. You're trying to get this belt on the back side of this second idler pulley here, and it goes back to the other hydro pump. I don't know if you can see that, but like right there. See, so that runs back behind that pulley. Right there. So you want to make sure you get this seated back, that belt riding on that, before you tighten this arm back up, this bolt right here, or nut. Once you get that tightened up, then you can go to putting your spring back on. We'll get there in a minute. So I had to end up doing it like this. I went ahead and dropped the PTO the rest of the way. So I couldn't get this spring on too easily with the tools I have. My spring puller is broken. So what I did is I routed the belt. Now you can see it a little better how the belt's routed now that that's out of the way. But so I did it just like we hand twist a belt on a moor deck. But what I did is I hooked the spring up right here, routed the belt, and had it, laying right up under here. And then I poked my spring through the side here, the hole that it goes through, and I ran me a screwdriver up to hold it out of this hole, because I just couldn't get a bite on it without a spring puller. And then I took me a pair of channel locks, started it around here, and then I just turned the crankshaft with the channel locks to wind that belt on. And so now we have it on there, and the shadow is killing me here. So then we just take our screwdriver like this, and we're wanting to go into that hole. It was like this. That's how I had it holding in place, locked. And then I just pop it back in the hole right there. Can y'all see that? So now it's not quite in, so we'll pop it. There we go, locked in there. And now, back under there, everything looks good. Always check and make sure that your belt's still around your pulleys on both sides, and everything's good before we put it all back together. I did a little scarring on there. Mr. Don't use channel locks on the crankshaft guy the other day. But alright guys, so we got the PTO back on. Everything's torqued back down. Drive belt, deck belt's back on. Did a little test, it's fine. Now I gotta get onto this tracking problem, plus we gotta adjust these brakes. Yeah, tires are spinning with the brakes on. Hoping it doesn't need a brake kit too. And that's it. If you guys like this video, hope it helped you out a little bit if you're working on one of these. Please give me some likes, leave some comments, and always subscribe to my channel if you haven't already. And that's it for today. Jungle Bob out.